Hi, everybody. Welcome again to my presentation. And today I will be discussing on a different topic where we will review the three theories of the nature of truth. That is the coherence theory, the correspondence theory, and the pragmatic theory. And again, it sounds like a weird thing to talk about. But first of all, we will look at the correspondence theory of truth. This theory of truth says that a belief is true if and only if it corresponds with something that exists in the world. So this is a kind of like the common everyday understanding of truth, right? How do I know that when I say I am wearing a green t-shirt, what does it mean for that to be true? So, well, it means that I am actually wearing a green t-shirt and it exists in the world. And it's actually here, it's actually there. I am actually wearing it. So another example as we used during the class, so my belief that a table is in the room is true if and only if there actually is a table in the room. And this is how and this is what we mean by truth. So what I believe on is actually corresponds to its existence. The thing is really exist. So now the second theory is that the theory of the coherence theory of truth. I think from one who is well known as F.H. Bradley, the coherence theory of truth says a belief is true if it coheres with a body of other statements that we take to be true. So when you think of cohere, just think it fits in with your web of beliefs. So it fits in with your web of everything else you think you know to be true. So if I say my belief that a table is in the room is true, what I mean when I say that is that there actually is a table in the room, because none of us can know how reality actually is. When I say there's a table in the room, that statement is true if it coheres with all other beliefs I take to be true. So that's coherence theory of truth. So now the pragmatic theory of truth. This theory of truth is relative. It applies a short scientific verification to a belief to make the belief becomes true. So this truth is not absolute, not common to everybody. This truth is a self-interested. This truth is in the interest of the individual. So a pragmatic theory of truth holds that a proposition is true if it is useful to believe. So the pragmatist would say that beliefs that lead to the best payoff, that are the best justification of our actions, that promote success, are truths. So first, it may be useful for someone to believe a proposition, but also useful for someone else to disbelieve it. So for example, Freud said that many people, in order to avoid despair, need to believe there is a God who keeps a watchful eye on everyone. According to one version of the pragmatic theory, that proposition is true. However, it may not be useful for other persons to believe that same proposition. They would be crushed if they believe that there is a God who keeps a watchful eye on everyone. So thus by symmetry of argument, that proposition is false. Secondly, certain beliefs are undeniably useful, even though on the other criteria, they are judged to be effectively false. For example, it can be useful for some persons to believe that, they live in a world surrounded by people who love or care for them. So according to this criticism, the pragmatic theory of truth overestimates the strength of the connection between truth and usefulness. So some pragmatists would say that truth is what an ideally rational inquirer would in the long run come to believe. Truth is the ideal outcome of rational inquiry. So the criticism that we do not now know what happens in the long run merely shows we have a problem with knowledge. But it does not show that the meaning of truth does not now involve hindsight from the perspective of the future. Yet, as a theory of truth, does this really reveal what true means? So an American philosopher, he stated that true ideas are those that we can assimilate, we can validate, corroborate, and verify. But false ideas are those we cannot. So assimilate means we can use it. It makes sense for us and it helps us to live our lives. So I can say this truth is tentative, no absolutes, since we cannot know how reality actually is. Why even search for absolute right? Truth is measured by workability. So the more it works for you, the more you're able to use it. The truer it is, right, which means it's working knowledge as you learn new things. As I live true, you should know continually, be evaluating and re-evaluating what you consider to be true. How useful would that be if we were to take that stance of truth, that stance on knowledge? So that's pragmatic theory of, and I think that would end my presentation. And I would like also to take this opportunity to thank Miss Kimaha Connell, our lecturer on this theory of knowledge at the University of West Indies, Mona campus, for sharing with me your knowledge, for imparting your knowledge to me, guiding me and instructing me, teaching me to at least a little understand about truth, about knowledge, how is knowledge being defined in the Western tradition as I have shared. So I really appreciate what you have done, and I pray you may continue to share with others the knowledge that you have to make people understand what really knowledge is. And for that, thank you very much, Miss, and God bless you.